Hello and welcome to Samadhi. Today is Friday, April 20th, 2018, and we're doing the Daily Word with Michael.
Thank you, Alice, and thank you everyone for joining us once again in this beautiful, amazing day, Friday, and it's towards the end of the week, and let's see what we have. Let's take a deep, cleansing, purifying breath of presence, of this moment, of aliveness, of beingness. Exhale, and let go of everything, and just be for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And let's all together receive. Thank you again. And the word for today, which we know who is with us here in spirit, the word for today is authentic. Oh my gosh. That is one word that not only do I love, but that I strive to be every day. Authentic. To myself first, and to others, in reflecting that authenticness within myself. And that's what we at Samadhi really emphasize. And we were just talking about this with our dear friends that Ali met yesterday. And we got together yesterday. And this message is dedicated to you, because it's not a coincidence how these things just unfold. And we're going to be on with them tomorrow, so we're very excited. Very excited. So, blessings. The word is authentic. I am an authentic divine expression. I am an authentic divine expression. My certificate of spiritual authenticity was verified the moment I was born. Oh, wait a minute. May I say something? I know this is going a little bit, but everybody tells me I need to get certified and that I need to do this and I need to do that. And I said, according to the world I do. But, I mean, and Ali, you've had a big part in that, because I always wanted to be good enough and to strive to be the best in myself, not towards anybody else, but to strive to be the best in myself, and always thinking that I was lacking something. And when I realized, wait a minute, I'm certified by life. I'm certified by God. I don't need man to certify me to be able to bring a message, to be the instrument, to be the conduit, to be the ambassador, the illuminator of consciousness. I don't need a certificate for that. I know that certain places, say that you need a certificate to do this or do that, but here at Samadhi, that we believe that we're all certified. But do we answer that call? Do we put on those that union? Do we come into that union? Because we don't have to put anything on. Do we come into that union? Do we come back within that space within ourselves? Because that is the certification. To be certified by God is to go within yourself. And you realize, just like the prodigal son or daughter, you're always already loved and certified and stamped of approval by God. So, I just wanted to say that, because it just hit me. My certificate of spiritual authenticity was verified the moment I was born, even before. There is nothing I need to do or be to gain God's approval or grace. The very source of my being is of God. As I allow my authentic nature to shine forward, I act as the light of God in this world, the essence of God, the presence of God in this world. I remain vigilant in contemplating my true nature through daily meditation on my divine essence. Molding to the expectation of others can feel as though I am diminishing my light or my essence. That's becoming a copy of a copy of a copy. I'm going to read that again. Molding to the expectations of others can feel as though I am diminishing my essence, my light, my truth. Holding my head high, speaking and acting on my truth, I let my light, my essence, my presence shine. I affirm my innate passions and spiritual gifts are ways in which I serve. I focus on sharing these gifts knowing that I am an authentic expression of God, of the divine, of the all, of all it is, of spirit, of creator, of source, whatever you want to call that presence, that deeper essence that you are. Wow. Then God said, this is in Genesis 1:26. Then God said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness. And in the Message, I gotta turn off Power Saver. Totally spaced that, because I forgot to charge my phone. And just like in our daily lives, we forget to charge ourselves. And that's where meditation comes in. And while this is downloading or uploading back to regular power, I would like to just include this little reminder that when we don't charge our battery, we could feel drained. But it's not that anything out there is draining us. It's we're forgetting our very essence. We're forgetting to go to the very source of our being, which isn't within meditation. And meditation is just a door to that authentic you that is just waiting for you to come back home. And that's where God speaks, and that's where God moves, and that's where wisdom resides. Because information, education, data is outside of ourselves, in the projections and reflections of reality. But the wisdom can only be attained through inner deep self-reflection and surrender. And here we go, 1:26. In the Message it says, God spoke, let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature. And so they can be responsible for the fish in the sea, the birds in the air, the cattle, and yes, earth itself, and every animal that moves on the face of the earth. God created human beings. God created them God-like, reflecting God's nature. God created them male and female. God blessed them. Prosper, reproduce, fill the earth, take charge. Be responsible for the fish in the sea and the birds in the air, for everything, living thing that moves on the face of the earth. Face of earth. It says in the end, God looked over everything God had made. It was so good, so very good. So God is pleased. The thing is, are we pleased? Are we so caught up in our egotistical, limited minds, our brains, that we forget what God's truth is? So, it says, God created human beings. God created them God-like. So, when we reflect and we meditate, because it even says in the Word, it even says, and Jesus said, meditate on God's Word. Don't just read it. When you just read it, you're just filling the brain. You're just filling that limited thinking brain. Instead of meditating on it and moving deeper within the core of your being so you can live the Word. Because the Word is alive. Every word is alive. But if you don't take it on and if you don't internalize it, then it'll just seem like something that you're reading instead of something that you're living. That is you. This is you. But if you don't take the time to acknowledge that it is you, then you will never experience it. So in the end, in my reflection, authenticity means that each one of you came for a purpose. Each one of you came for a specific place and space and deliverance, an example of your essence. And when you copy someone else's essence, you're taking the very blessing of the very nature of your being that is doing its best to shine through. It's doing its best to move through. But when we become copies of copies of copies, we're taking that blessing away from ourselves and from the world. So bless the world with your authentic nature. And if you don't have an idea what your authentic nature is, go within the silence of your being. Go within that stillness. And the authenticity will start to more and more emanate through you. And of course, if you need assistance, yes, I'm a broken record. And yes, I will be a broken record every single time through this video. Because if you need assistance, we're here to serve. That's why we bring the daily word. So, Ali?
Well, something caught my attention when it says, I am authentic. And then the scripture says, let us make humankind in our image according to our likeness. So when God said that, it means that the moment that we reflect God's, if we want to say,
qualities.
Yeah, I was going to use more like characteristics or what God reflects from his creation. Love, unconditional love. So to be authentic, it just means to be closer to that image of what God had us all to be. We were not created with blueprints and habits and all that other stuff. We were created in their image. But the image isn't just what you see on the outside, but the image of what your heart holds is my take on it.
Exactly.
So that's one of my favorite, if we want to call it again, favorite. I have so many favorites. But for me, I've always said that being authentic is number one. Excuse me. And sometimes, I guess I'm sometimes too authentic, that if something is not doing too good in here, and I take my time or I stay quiet till I work through it, and then I get questions like, are you okay? Is everything okay? But that's because I'm so authentic, it just, I don't hide it. And sometimes I need to, but that's just who I am.
That's beautiful, just the way you are.
Thank you.
And one thing that you mentioned, Ali, that really struck a chord is that we spoke to a very influential person here in Yuma, and he said, just because people don't see me working doesn't mean I'm not working. I'm working more than they know. So when you see someone quiet, don't necessarily take that for, laziness or ineffectiveness. Because in that inner place is the most effectiveness you can do. And I'm not giving a reason for people to be lazy, because that being said, that if you're not using this and working with this, and you're just sitting there like daydreaming, then that's not going to bring any fruit, because you're just daydreaming. But if you're envisioning, if you're tuning in, that's better. I mean, it's more effective when you're tuning in, because then you can truly envision and feel where you're guided to do, be, and have. So your authenticity is found in the place where most people don't have any idea that is authentic. And where's your authenticity? Your spiritual nature. And your spiritual nature doesn't speak with words. It is a silence, it is a stillness that speaks with presence. And when you realize that, and you start listening and tuning into that, then you will start to really hear. You will start to really feel. And I'm not judging for those who don't. It's just, if you desire more authenticity in your life, To me, that's the key, is go within your authentic self, where the brain is not going to be the one in charge, charging the station. It's going to be your essence. It's going to be the presence within you. That's going to be your charge. That's going to be your driving force, your foundation. So, I'm just preparing the daily word in Spanish, so go ahead.
That's all I had to share.
So everyone, thank you for joining us. Again, subscribe to our videos to get the latest and greatest from somebody, and to remember more of your authentic nature. And remember today's word. I am authentic. I am an authentic divine expression. And you are certified by the divine. You don't need anybody's approval. You don't need anybody's control to tell you how great you are. You are great. The thing is, are you willing to believe it? Or are you willing to even contemplate the very thought of it? Just that alone starts to open up doors inside of you. Just contemplate the thought that I can be great. I am great. Am I great? Why am I great? Because I am the reflection of God. I am made in God's image and likeness. I am what everybody else is, no more, no less. Start to reflect on that, and you will realize that you already are ordained, certified, and qualified by God. The thing is, are you moving into that truth? Are you taking the time, the steps, and the energy, charging yourself every day like you charge a battery for anything that you use? Because if not, it won't have no use. So if you don't charge your battery, it will feel like you have no use. But you do have use. All you got to do is remember to charge. Charge, charge, charge. Go within. Thank you, everyone. And we hope you have an amazing, incredible day. And remember, action is key. Namaste.